The MSNBC studio lights burned intensely on the debate stage, where Candace Owens adjusted her microphone, her typically poised demeanor betraying faint signs of unease. Across from her, Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett sat calmly, a folder of documents before her and a subtle, confident smile on her lips. What began as a routine political debate on racial policies was about to erupt into a historic confrontation, one that would reverberate across media and reshape public discourse. Moderator Rachel Mitchell, a seasoned journalist known for her incisive yet balanced approach, announced, "We'll take a brief break and return with our special debate between conservative commentator Candace Owens and Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett." As cameras paused, Owens sipped water, her confidence as a seasoned debater tempered by Crockett's enigmatic expression. Unbeknownst to Owens, Crockett had come armed with evidence that would unravel the conservative star's carefully crafted persona, documents Owens never imagined would surface. The producer counted down, back in 5, 4, 3, 2. As the broadcast resumed, Crockett seized the moment, locking eyes with Owens. "Before we proceed, the American people deserve to know who they're hearing from," she said, her voice steady as she opened her folder. What followed left the audience gasping, and Owens unraveling on live television in a way no one had seen before. Candace Owens, at 34, was a towering figure in conservative media, her rise fueled by sharp rhetoric and a compelling narrative of transitioning from liberal to conservative, a red pill awakening from what she called the Democratic plantation. With 2 best-selling books, a popular podcast, and millions of social media followers, she was a hero to conservatives and a lightning rod for progressives, particularly for her rejection of systemic racism and victimhood culture. Her polished delivery and provocative statements had secured lucrative media contracts and speaking engagements, making her a staple on right-wing platforms. Her latest appearance was strategic, timed with negotiations for a primetime show on a major conservative network. Jasmine Crockett, 42, brought a contrasting profile. A Harvard-educated civil rights attorney turned congresswoman, she had fought in courtrooms for voting rights and criminal justice reform, prosecuting police misconduct and representing protesters pro bono. Less known nationally than Owens, Crockett had gained attention for her razor-sharp questioning in congressional hearings, dismantling opponents with evidence-based arguments. Where Owens thrived on bold assertions, Crockett relied on meticulous preparation. She saw Owens's narrative as misleading, profiting off simplified rhetoric that ignored systemic realities faced by Black Americans. The MSNBC debate, Beyond the Divide, Race and American Politics, had been hyped for weeks as a clash of 2 dynamic Black women with opposing views, promising both substance and spectacle. For Owens, it was a chance to reinforce her brand as a fearless truth-teller. Her social media teased a showdown of facts over feelings. For Crockett, it was an opportunity to challenge what she viewed as harmful misinformation with hard evidence. Unbeknownst to viewers, Crockett had spent weeks compiling a dossier, documents, emails, and recordings that contradicted Owens's public persona. As the debate resumed, Mitchell posed the opening question: how should we address racial disparities in economic opportunity? Owens launched into her familiar argument with confidence. The greatest barrier for Black Americans isn't systemic racism. It's a myth perpetuated to keep minorities dependent. The real issues are family breakdown, government handouts, and a victim mentality pushed by politicians like Congresswoman Crockett. Her delivery was smooth, rehearsed, and met with nods from conservative viewers. Crockett, unfazed, didn't engage directly. Instead, she said, "Before I respond, let's establish the credibility of who's speaking." She pulled a document from her folder, and the studio hushed. Ms. Owens has built her brand on rejecting victimhood and systemic barriers, but her past tells a different story. She held up an article from Degree 180, a website Owens ran in 2015. Here, you called Trump supporters deplorable idiots and compared Trump to Hitler. Mitchell's eyebrows rose, but she let the moment unfold. The audience stirred, sensing a shift from policy to personal. Owens countered quickly. My evolution is no secret. Those were opinion pieces from a group blog. I've been open about my journey. Crockett pressed on, unfazed. What you haven't discussed is your 2016 project, Social Autopsy, aimed at exposing online bullies by tracking their digital footprints, a call for accountability that aligns with progressive ideas you now mock as snowflake behavior. Murmurs rippled through the audience. Owens's composure wavered. That project was misunderstood by both sides. It was about addressing harassment I faced personally. Crockett nodded, her tone measured. So you supported accountability for harmful speech, yet now you criticize those who raise similar concerns. That's inconsistent. She pulled another document. More troubling is your 2007 discrimination lawsuit against your high school, claiming racial harassment after receiving threatening voicemails. You sought $37,500 with NAACP support, the same organization you now attack for promoting victimhood. The audience gasped. Owens's face tightened. That was filed by my parents when I was a teenager. Are you using my experience with racism against me? I'm highlighting contradictions, Crockett replied. You tell Black Americans to reject systemic issues while privately benefiting from acknowledging them. Mitchell tried to redirect. Let's return to policy. Crockett interjected. This is policy. Credibility matters when discussing these issues. She produced another document, a transcript from a private fundraiser 3 months prior. You told donors, these talking points work for engagement, but solutions are more complex than what I say publicly. Owens's face flushed. That's an unauthorized recording from a private event. It was sent to my office by an attendee, concerned about your duplicity, Crockett said, sliding the document to Mitchell. And these emails with your publisher, Simon Schuster, show you instructing them to remove data on racial disparities in healthcare because it doesn't fit my narrative. The studio fell silent. Owens stood abruptly, her chair rolling back. This is outrageous. You're using stolen communications to smear me. This is a hit job. Her voice rose, shattering her polished image. Mitchell intervened. Ms. Owens, please? But Owens cut her off. I won't sit here for this. MSNBC will hear from my lawyers. As Owens ripped off her microphone, knocking over a water glass, she pointed at Crockett. You'll regret this! Security stepped in as she stormed toward Crockett, who remained seated, unflinching. The broadcast cut to an unplanned commercial. Off camera, the studio descended into chaos, with Owens shouting, "Who gave you those?" as production staff scrambled. When the show resumed, Mitchell, slightly disheveled, sat alone. Ms. Owens has chosen to leave. Congresswoman Crockett remains to continue. Crockett, composed, had her documents neatly arranged. I didn't seek this outcome, she said. I wanted to ensure policy discussions are grounded in truth. Crockett revealed more. Owens's media company received a $186,000 PPP loan, despite her public criticism of government aid as fostering dependency. Taxpayers funded your business while you told others to avoid handouts, she said. She also exposed Owens's speaking contracts, demanding first-class travel, 5-star hotels, and $50,000 fees for campus talks, where she urged students to reject financial complaints. The final blow was an email where Owens directed her publisher to cut data on Black maternal mortality rates, admitting privately it supported systemic racism arguments she publicly dismissed. The truth matters, Crockett said. Black Americans deserve honesty, not narratives that hide evidence. Owens's meltdown went viral before the broadcast ended. Clips of her shouting and storming off racked up millions of views, with hashtags like Owens Meltdown, and Crockett receipts trending globally. Conservative reactions split. Some decried an ambush, with one host tweeting, "The left resorts to privacy violations when they can't win." Others, wary of Owens's performative style, were less sympathetic. "Authenticity matters," one conservative wrote. Progressives hailed Crockett's evidence, though some questioned using private communications. "Crockett brought receipts, and Owens couldn't handle it," one tweet read. By morning, news outlets ran headlines like, "Owens implodes after Crockett's exposé." Conservative groups quietly dropped Owens from events, her book deal stalled, and her TV contract was shelved. Crockett's profile soared, with interview requests flooding in and her clip about truth going viral. Social media analytics showed 40 million views in 48 hours, making it a top political moment of 2025. Analysts noted younger audiences valued authenticity over perfection, resonating with Crockett's methodical approach. Owens, after 2 days of silence, posted a subdued video from a hotel room claiming character assassination and threatening lawsuits. Legal experts doubted her case as the documents were legally obtained, loan records were public, and the fundraiser recording and emails came from voluntary sources. Her core supporters rallied, but mainstream conservative outlets distanced themselves. Crockett, avoiding a victory lap, focused on policy, saying, "This is about facts, not personalities." The confrontation became a cultural touchstone, taught in journalism schools as a case study in preparation and authenticity. Polls showed 64% of Americans saw it as a pivotal moment for accountability, crossing party lines. Owens's career took a hit. Speaking fees dropped, and her social media engagement fell 40%. Crockett emerged as a national voice, eyed for higher office. The debate sparked a broader conversation about public personas versus private truths, with "pulling a Crockett" becoming shorthand for dismantling narratives with evidence. As one commentator noted, in an age of performance, truth remains the ultimate weapon.